Live, a concert series created by the musicians of the National Symphony Orchestra. My name is Marissa Regni. I'm the Principal Second Violin of the National Symphony. I'll be your host tonight and every Sunday night as we bring live music into your homes and hopefully into your hearts. Tonight we are featuring NSO bassist Ira Gold. He is joined by his wife, Heidi Remick, and she's going to be playing the violin and the viola this evening. They're going to be playing some duos together. We also have a terrific youth fellowship student on this evening. His name is Joey Hsieh, and he plays the cello, and he's just so wonderful. Cannot wait to have him on. And we will be with him in just a little while, but we're going to kick things off with Ira and Heidi. They're going to be playing 4 short duets by the 20th century Hungarian composer Béla Bartók. These duets were actually originally written for 2 violins, but tonight they'll be playing them on the violin and the bass. So let's head over to Ira and Heidi right now. Thank you, Ira and Heidi and the dog. Love it. It was so great. I love those duos, and it's so great to hear it on the bass. That's a new thing for me, so I love it. Thank you so much. We'll be back with them in just a second, but I want to remind all of you, you can follow us on our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. On Facebook, we are NSO Musicians. On YouTube, we are NSO Musicians. On Instagram, you can find us as NSO_musicians. We are always posting new content all the time. So please, if you would be so inclined, check us out, subscribe to us, and like us if you will. All right, we're going to head back now to Ira and Heidi for a quick chit chat before Ira plays his next piece. So let's go back to Ira right now. Hey, that was so great. Thank you so much. And you have to tell everyone your dog's name.
Yes, this is our dog, Hsieh. She's about 10 years old. And yep, she's a German short-haired pointer.
She was great. She chimed in there at the end. She loved it. So Heidi, thank you so much for coming on. You are, as I like to say, ambidextrous tonight. You're playing violin and the viola. So amazing. Did you start playing on the violin or the viola?
So I did. I started on violin when I was about 6 years old. Played violin all the way through middle school, overlapped a little in high school when I kind of brought viola into the mix, and then took off with viola into college and beyond. And I do most of my professional playing these days on viola, but I still do teach violin students. So it's nice to have the violin out. And when Ira and I were looking at putting some of these Bartók duos together, we found that with some of the arrangements in the range, it was going to work better to do on violin this time. So
yeah, and Ira, you're ambidextrous too because you're playing the violin part on the bass. Who knew? It was so great. I loved it. So you are about to play a piece, Ira, for solo bass by a composer named David Hsieh. He's very influential in the bass world. I read up a little bit about him. So can you tell us a little bit about what you're about to play?
Sure. David Hsieh is a very well-known composer and teacher and performer in England. And I haven't actually met him, but I learned of his music through a good friend here in the United States. And it turns out he's written a lot of music for the bass. He's also had hundreds of pieces commissioned for him and his students. So he's had pieces that are for solo bass, all the way up to 20 basses.
Wow.
He's had all these different pieces for a chamber ensemble, and he's played lots of concertos. And he started composing a few years ago and wanted to sort of offer more repertoire for the bass. Bass players tend to be very curious about composition because we kind of know our way around the instrument. So he's a well-known teacher and performer, and I kind of came upon this piece. This piece is only 2 years old, so it hasn't been performed too often, but I really love it, and I'll be playing a couple movements from the 7-movement work.
Fantastic. Well, we cannot wait. I know you have to switch your mic over before you play, so I'm going to let you do that right now. And while you do that, I am going to wish one of our board members a very happy birthday. So we have a board member named Norman Bernstein. He has been on the NSO board of directors for 45 years. That's a big number. That's an impressive number. Even more impressive is that this Thursday, January 21st, Norman has a birthday. He's going to be 100 years old, or I should say 100 years young. Amazing. Happy birthday, Norman. We hope you have a wonderful birthday and you are celebrated to the highest degree. And thank you for all you do for the National Symphony Orchestra. We can't wait to see you in person someday soon. So we're going to head back now to Ira for this piece by David Hayes. Thank you, Ira. So beautifully played and fantastic piece. I cannot wait to hear the rest of it someday. So if you've been enjoying these programs, perhaps this is your first time tuning in, or maybe you've been watching us from the very beginning. We've been broadcasting since the beginning of May. Perhaps you'll consider a donation to the National Symphony Orchestra. If you'd like to do so, it's very simple. You simply go to kennedy-center.org/support NSO. Any money you give to the orchestra is 100% tax deductible. It would sure mean the world to us. So perhaps that's something you'll consider doing this evening. So it's that time of the show where we're going to hear one of our terrific youth fellowship students. This is such a great program that the National Symphony has. It's for high school students, very competitive, and these students get to study with members of the National Symphony Orchestra. They also observe our orchestra rehearsals and sit in with us from time to time, and it's just been so great on this show this past year, getting to know some of these kids better and listening to them. They're so inspiring and just an absolute delight. And speaking of which, our next student that we have on is one of my favorites, I have to confess. I have known Joey Hsieh, he plays the cello. I've known him since he was 9 years old, and he's just one of my favorite people on the planet. And he studies with NSO Assistant Principal Cellist Glenn Garlick. Glenn is joining us this evening so that we can wax poetic about Joey. So let's bring Glenn on right now.
Hi, Marissa.
Hey, Glenn.
Hello.
Oh, so good to see you. I have to tell everybody, Glenn and I have been in a string quartet together for 24 years. So I miss you twice as much. I miss quartet and orchestra. And you've got your quartet posters behind you, and I have my quartet posters behind me. So here you go.
A little bit of home.
A little bit of home. And that is actually how I met Joey initially, is he used to come to our quartet concerts. Like, he was one of our most avid fans.
Yeah. And Joey has been studying cello with me for about 6 years now. And I have to say, he almost wasn't my student. His mother called, and he was in 3rd grade at that time. And I said, I don't know if I can teach somebody that young. But we decided we'd get together and just sort of give it a try. And he was so excited about the cello and so talented that we thought, well, let's see, we'll try out for a few months here. And after that, I found out that he's also very hardworking. He's been chewing his way through repertoire for the last 6 years. And it's very exciting to work with him. I'd say now it's more like we're collaborating on figuring out how to make our way through more cello repertoire.
Yeah, he's so great. We just love him. So let's bring Joey on now.
Hello.
There he is. Hey, Joey. So good to see you. Miss seeing you at our quartet concerts. And like I said, I've known you since you were 9. I can't believe it. And now you are in high school. I feel old. So tell everyone where you're in high school now.
I'm going to Quince Orchard High School right now, and I'm a 9th grader.
Yeah, amazing. And you brought a friend today, which is very nice. Tell everyone who you brought with you.
Hi, I'm Isaac.
Hi, Isaac. And you are in college now, right?
I'm taking a gap year right now, but I'll start at William & Mary in the fall.
Ah, fantastic school. Good luck to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
So,
you.
Joey, this is your first year in the Youth Fellowship Program. Yeah, it's kind of a weird year, but eventually we will be back in the Kennedy Center. And so what are you looking forward to most, do you think, with the Youth Fellowship?
Probably the side-by-side.
Yeah,
Really fun.
yeah. Maybe, and you get to sit with your teacher too. That'll be nice.
Definitely.
Well, we're so happy to have you on. We cannot wait to hear both of you play. We're going to do that in just a second. So I'm going to let you adjust your mic so that you can get ready to play. Thank you, Glenn, for being on. And while he does that, I just want to tell everyone you will be hearing 2 pieces by Joey. Now, the first is by the great master Johann Sebastian Bach. It's a piece that was meant to be played by just the cello all by themselves. And the second piece is from a cello concerto by Luigi Boccherini. He was an Italian composer and cellist, so a cellist writing for the cello. This was a piece that was meant to be played by cello, accompanied by an orchestra. Of course, we don't have an orchestra tonight, but we do have the amazing Isaac Chu on the piano. He is our orchestra. So let's go back to Joey. He'll be playing some Bach, and then Isaac and Joey will be playing some Boccherini. Yay! Bravo! Oh my gosh, so great. So great to hear you, Joe. You sound amazing. Thank you, Isaac, as well. So terrific. Cannot wait to hear where you guys go in the future and wish you all the best. Hey, if you know anybody that might be interested in our program, please Google us. Just look up NSO Youth Fellowship Program. And when you Google that, there'll be a link you can click on and you can find out all the particulars. So please pass the word on if you or anyone you know might be interested. It's really a terrific program. Next week, we will be back Sunday, 7 p.m. We've got a terrific duo. They call themselves String Thing. It's NSO violinist Heather Ledoux Green and NSO bassist Paul Danola. They are so funny. It's like great music, performed brilliantly with a heavy dose of humor, and you're going to love it. Bring your kids along because they're going to love it too. So we'll be here with String Thing, and our youth fellowship student is an alum of the program. His name is Diego Stein, and he plays the tuba. So we will hear from him next week and hear what he's been up to since he graduated. Please join us next Sunday at 7. All right, we're going to wrap things up now with Ira and Heidi. Heidi's on the viola this time. They're going to be playing a piece by Walter Piston, who is an American composer, 20th century. And this is a 3-movement work. So let's bring Heidi and Ira back. Wow, thank you so much, Ira and Heidi. That was fantastic. Thanks. So that is it for us this evening. We will be back, of course, next week. But I want to remind you all, if you'd like to donate to the National Symphony, you can do so by going to kennedy-center.org/support NSO. Also, of course, next week we'll be back 7 p.m. with String Thing. It's violinist Heather Ledoux Green and bass player Paul Danola. They're so fabulous. And our youth fellowship student is an alum of the program, Diego Stein, on the tuba. So please join us next Sunday at 7. I want to thank Ira, Heidi, Glenn Garlick for coming on, and the wonderful Joey Hsieh and Isaac Chu for playing. Thanks to all of you for joining us. And I want to thank our producers, Bob Reardon, Jamie Roberts, and Dave Murray. I want to thank Thomas Baker for his beautiful artwork that he does for us every week, and Sophie Edwards for all of the tech work she does on my end of the picture. We hope to see you next week. In the meantime, please stay safe and stay healthy.